goats noising.
Hello and welcome people to Panzer Dragoon Orta. Today we're gonna be starting a playthrough of this, of course on hard because this game is piece easy. I'm joined by Nadia and Stan. Introduce
I'm
yourself.
Nadia, and that's Dan.
Hello.
Danke, Stan.
Why didn't you go into Pandora's box? I wanted to see what would happen if you opened it.
Later.
And now we see the opening to every Panzer Dragoon game ever.
Practically yes. It's more or less the same message.
Uh-huh.
And always in the same Panzerist language.
Mm-hmm. I thought we blew all that up.
No. Cradle never came up in the previous games.
Mm.
Now, for anyone interested, Panzer Dragoon Orta is actually kind of sort of a spin-off to Panzer Dragoon series. Story-wise, it's a spin-off. However, gameplay-wise, it's a full-on sequel to the traditional Panzer Dragoon rail shooters. It does, however, have some elements from Panzer Dragoon Saga implemented into it, which makes the gameplay ever more so interesting. And the FMVs in this game are surprisingly low res. Not that they look bad, they're just really low resolution.
Man, where's all my jagged lines and triangular shapes? This is not the Panzer Dragoon I know and love. I mean, jeez.
I mean, they have features and colors. No.
Yeah, what the hell?
No. Saturn had pretty good colors, I'll give it that.
Whole game
But-
ruined.
Well, one thing Saturn didn't have was an attractive protagonist, which this one does have.
Whole game ruined. Where's my generic-looking protagonist where everyone else looks more like a protagonist?
Well, that's why this is a spin-off, to not offend people.
Clearly. This whole sequence reminds me of Legend of Dragoon.
I was just going to say.
I think we know where they got some of their inspiration.
Oh, well... Actually, it would have been the other way around.
Nah, son. Dragoon came out way before Orta.
Well, way before Orta, but not before Panzer Dragoon.
Hey, look, it's the Cannon Dragon.
Yes. And notice here how big the dragon is compared to Orta.
Humongous.
Humongous. And now, once the gameplay kicks in, pay attention how small it is.
Well, it can change shape at will. We established this in Saga.
Yes, and it can still do that. And it's
Good.
awesome. Yeah, so...
They don't tell you how to play.
Well, there is a tutorial section. Now, what I'm doing here seems like it has no effect or on any on the target. Like when I'm those dragon mares, that's what they are called. They don't get damaged by lasers. However, you can see that little blue bar going diagonally from that phallic symbol on the bottom left corner. goes up whenever I hit something. That is our Berserker meter. And it doesn't really matter what you hit, just as long as you hit it goes up.
Neat.
And it's important that you hit basically every target. Well, first and foremost, because you know, you want to get the biggest shoot down ratio. But you also want to, in this level, you want to hit the dragon bears, because otherwise you won't have enough Berserker for one dickish section coming up soon.
Right in the beginning of the game. Lovely.
Well, you will still survive, but it's like you kind of have to know in order to get 100%. Suppose, well, you can get 100% in this game without using the Berserker a single time. That's kind of that's the kind of game it is. It rewards perfectionism, and actually using Berserker will lower your score. Not directly though. It will because, as you can see, if I take a couple targets, take out a couple targets at once, it will give me a multiplier on the score. Whenever I use Berserker, that multiplier does not apply. Like you see here, the numbers just appear without any sort of color or multiplier next to them.
Yeah.
So if you want to get a big score, shoot down as many targets as possible at once. And yeah, we already kind of established that there are multiple different dragons, but basically the one I'm using right now is this game basically the best dragon in this game. This one is your agility wing, or how I like to call it, the turbo wing. Mostly because of its ability to continuously shoot without you having to constantly press the button. And
Looks like a beetle.
It also automatically aims at anything that is within that big circle. You can basically restart your shooting by pressing the button again. Like you know, you let go and you choose another target. The turbo wing, how I like to call it, has a much better maneuverability than your regular wing, and its Berserker will heal you. However, I'm not going to be using it too much because I'm so boss at this game.
Yeah. Okay. So do those
And
yellow
it
bars?
also the yellow bars. I was about to get to it.
Oh, okay.
They're your charges for glide. Glide is something they introduced in this one, which is this. It allows you to basically ram into your enemies. It's the most damaging move in the entire game. It is, however, hard to use. You have to know the situation in order to properly use it, because if you use it at the wrong time, it will screw you up. You can also glide backwards, which will not have the damaging effect. However, it will allow you to avoid certain obstacles. However, you should always remember to just glide forwards. And this is the heavy wing, or how I like to call it, the Panzer wing, as in a Panzer, as in the tank. It hits like a fucking truck. You don't even really have to. You don't even really have to level up this form in order for it to be useful. Because what you only have to remember is how to fight with him, which is how I'm doing it right now. Constantly change targets, because with him the lasers take a little bit of time in order to reach their goal. In this time, so whereas this wing releases all of the lasers immediately, the heavy wing releases them continuously. So it's gonna be like
Yeah.
but after like the first one hits, you can already start loading another one. So it's a continuous stream of death. The damage output is actually the exact same between all of the between the normal dragon and the heavy dragon. It's just the condensation of laser is bigger with the with this dragon. The biggest disadvantage of the Panzer Wing, however, I shouldn't call it the Panzer Wing because that's another wing from Saga, but never mind. The biggest disadvantage of the heavy wing is that it does not have the glide ability. Like if you wanted to, like here, he wouldn't be able to avoid that.
Wow.
Whereas the normal wing has two glide bars, and this wing has none. Also, the way the glide bars charge, it's not that it charges two of the how to explain it. All of the dragons share one glide bar. However, each one of them uses a different amount of power in order to glide. Like for example, let's say this one uses half of everything to glide, whereas the glide wing, whereas the glide wing is going to use a third of its power. So, for example, if I now glide with the base wing, I'm gonna have 1.5 charge on the glide wing when I switch immediately.
Well, that was easy. Episode.
Well, that's because I've done this one like a million times.
You only got an A though. Go do it again.
No.
What do you mean no? You need to get an S. You need to be perfect.
You're an ass.
Thank you. I am very high ranked. That's not answering my question.
But it's cute.
No, it isn't.
It's adorable.
Only you would think that thing is adorable.
So now it's established. It's the dragon from Saga.
So it lived.
Yes.
How?
That flapping wings at the very end. It was a dragon.
How did it live?
It just did.
Okay, I guess.
Sestran can do anything, so it probably just got teleported.
Frickin' Angie.
Azel really let herself go in this one.
Why does
It
every
actually-
protagonist inexplicably have a gun at the start?
Actually, she's the only one that that inexplicably has the gun.
Yeah, it's weird.
All the other ones just find it. And the first one, in Panzer Dragoon 1, he gets it from the drone rider in Zwei. It just happens to lie on the ground when you start the level. In 3, it's in a crate, and in this one, just comes with the dragon.
Makes me wonder though. They acknowledged that there was an empire beforehand. So what did they like? Did they think their escapade would be any different from the previous
No,
examples?
It's the same empire.
Oh.
Tung vez no do comunitum gustas ouvir.
You know, this made me realize Angie must be really fucking old.